What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rebel Yankee Podcast, where it's God first and guts and guns. I'm your host, Jan Backus, and in the studio with me today is a very familiar guest, my good friend, Ryan Resch.
What's up, dude?
How's that for introduction?
That was great.
Intros are hard. Outros, I'm learning, are the hardest. Like, they wanted me to do an outro when I was done with my class the other day, and I'm all like, that was cool.
Yeah, I've got some friends that are doing a YouTube channel right now, and the outros are always a little bit awkward, but they're getting better. They're getting better.
And we're out. And then at work, we have a pretty solid outro the same way every time we say our creed, and then we know we're done.
Yeah.
So
easy. So maybe we
need a Rebel Yankee creed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on today's episode, Ryan, we're going to talk about loving God and loving people. We're going to talk about the story of the Good Samaritan. We're going to talk about what's been going on and what's happening at Big Horn Firearms. We're going to talk about maybe some potential collaboration on a class at Big Horn. I didn't tell you about that yet. I mean, we spoke about it, but we haven't really talked about it. And
so
then
you're going to pitch me.
I'm going to pitch you
in the middle of the podcast, so
yes,
I can't say no.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, cool.
And then we're going to have show and tell. What's nice about having Ryan as a guest, he has access to everything. Yeah. So he brought in something pretty sleek and something very slick.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it again. Yeah, it's so cool. But as in our usual fashion, we will take care of kingdom business first. And we're going to talk about how God's moving in our lives this week and how we're putting him first. You want to go first?
Sure. I'd love to go first.
Great.
Well, so God has been coming to me often in some unexpected places and through other people in my life. People that I've actually known and through business mostly. And they're guys that, I've known one guy for almost 10 years.
Wow.
And I'll kind of go a little bit deeper than just kind of surface level here, because I think it's pretty interesting, his story. And then another guy who is a professional friend who does like my kind of like computer maintenance, a little bit of IT type stuff for the shop. He's a friend of a friend, but had no idea he was a Christian till the other day, and we were just having a regular conversation, and he just came in right in the middle of the conversation, said, well, I'm a Christian, so this, that, and the other thing, and I was like, oh, very cool. And so then opened up the opportunity for me to have a little bit of, God talk with him and learn a little bit more about, his testimony, his faith, and tell him a little bit about my, newfound faith, which was really awesome. My other friend and customer, longtime customer, from like the early Bighorn days,
wow.
Probably well over 10 years, because he was coming to Bighorn. We were still upstairs in the first unit. So probably year 2 or 3. So we're talking 11 or 12 years now.
So not the office with the showroom, but the second.
No, yeah, upstairs, office with the showroom, not when I was just office.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that was for year 1 was just the office setup and the gun shows.
Gotcha.
Year 2 is when I did the first remodel. So at least it was year 2 or 3 when I first met this gentleman. I'll just go with first name, Levi. And he's just been a regular guy, a regular customer, really good customer, does a lot of buying and selling and trading. He's got a lot of cool military surplus stuff. That's kind of his focus. But then he's shifted focus. He likes a lot of unique stuff, and he's kind of been, over the years, all over the place with his collection. But now he's kind of refined it and just stuck with some really unique surplus stuff, a couple different little niche kind of areas, and then also a big HK collector. So anyway, well, let's talk about God though.
No, this is part of the story. Let's go.
So he came in the shop he just recently moved to Missouri. Like him and his wife just decided there was a death in the family. He had a horse die. I'll kind of set some of the story. He had a horse die. Then he had I believe a death in the family, so they ended up back in Missouri and were there, and they were there, and they're like, wow, this place is really calling to us.
Wow.
They looked at a house while they were there and made an offer on a house, and then just basically up and left and moved to Missouri. And it this all ties into God, and maybe one day we can have him come on and actually tell his story. But we were just talking regular stuff, and he was talking about how it's so different there, and he's really loving what's going on and the people he's meeting, and how like basically kind of like suggesting that as a family man, I might consider getting the heck out of Colorado because of all of the really terrible woke culture that they're pushing on young people. We don't say kids, but just young people in general. And I said, well, I was like, I've been since January 1 of this year, I've taken the boys to church. Grace and I have taken the boys to church pretty much every Sunday. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. He's like, that's really interesting that you said that. He's like, I've kind of got a long backstory here, but, I've recently come back to God.
Because Levi's got to be a Jew, right?
Come back. No, he's a light skin, red hair. I don't know that he is a Jew. He grew up. Both of his grandfathers were pastors. So here, I'll just kind of I'm going to go to the next level here.
Interesting.
So he said, I grew up in a very religious upbringing. Both of my grandfathers were pastors.
Not a Jew.
And not a Jew.
Cool Jewish name, though.
Yeah. So it's a biblical name, and I think
it's a Jewish name.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, the Old Testament. I mean, Jesus was a Jew too.
I was a Jew.
You were
still am. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, but
right. So, and I mean, a lot of the historical aspect of a whole Bible and everything, that's probably one of my favorite things right now. Sure. I've been reading a little bit in like Samuel and kind of getting into that. And it's kind of cool because I'm starting to like piece it together and like figure out who's who and how everybody's related and stuff. It's pretty neat.
Awesome.
So let's go back to Levi. So grows up, he's like, I spent 3 days a week in church growing up. I mean, minimum, I was in church 3 days a week. And then as I grew into a young adult, he's like, I did 6 years of ministry work. And then I got married. He's like, I married the first girl. And then he just went, this is stuff, I've known the guy for 10 years. I didn't know. Maybe once or twice, maybe it's kind of come up in conversation, but I wasn't paying attention because I wasn't really interested. And so he gets married. He marries the first girl he ever kissed, and like the real traditional way. Like, I mean, he was living the traditional Christian life, and they get married, and I'm not really sure exactly what happens, but the marriage doesn't pan out. Some things happen, and they end up getting divorced. And when he was, after the divorce, they kind of like exiled him. He experienced the way he described it to me, some exile from the church. And they were like, "Hey, yeah, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to help us with this stuff anymore because
you're dirty."
Yes. So the worst possible case scenario. So he kind of, I won't say spiraled out, but he just went the other direction and lived the opposite life for a long time. Still a very good person. I mean, from what I knew him, he was a good person, but he wasn't living that, really kind of straight and narrow path life. Got focused on all the other things, business, everything was more important than God for him for a long time. And then there was a couple of times, though, that God kind of called out to him and saved him, and he went into detail on a couple of these things. I don't know if I should share them all here. Maybe we'll talk. I'll give you some more details at dinner later. But and I know we're only going on first name here, so it's probably
Sure.
But some guys that know me, if they see the podcast, they may know Levi, right?
That's respectful. Yeah.
Maybe I should have picked a different name.
Benjamin.
So Benjamin, he told me a couple times where God, reached out to him, and he didn't realize it quite in its purest form at the time. But he started sensing it again recently in his life, and he knew who it was and what was going on, and he's come back.
Nice.
To the flock, come back
Praise
to
God.
Jesus.
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome.
Yeah, man. We had that conversation in the middle of the showroom on a regular day, and
Big Horn.
that is how God is moving in my life right now.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Jesus is in Big Horn Firearms. I love it.
He's getting in there, man.
Powerful.
I've definitely felt much more comfortable lately being more open in my newfound faith and not dancing around it kind of thing, because I don't want to offend people or whatever. But I've just feel like it's, especially when God is putting these other men in front of me that I had no idea, like we're all hiding it, and now we're having the conversation. It's it's not weird. And I think it just felt weird for me for a long time, because it's a new thing, and I know there's a lot of misconceptions about following Jesus. So.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show in a few different episodes. There's a way to do it, but what I've learned, and I wish I learned it sooner, is to be a little bit more vocal about it, still without, shoving it down people's throats, but let them know right away, this is where I stand on Jesus, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you could do it in a way where it's not off-putting, or, people still want to talk to you, and, maybe spark some curiosity in them.
Yeah.
It's funny we brought up the Jew thing, because I'm a Jew. I found, Christ. Todd's wife is coming on the show on the 23rd. She's a Jew. She's a Jew, right? And she's Jesus curious. And she's married to Todd, and you've seen his show.
Right. He's very open.
And her daughter just got baptized.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, so Todd...
I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, I can't wait to have her on. So I talked to her very briefly yesterday, and I'll tell you why it was so brief. But Todd wanted us to talk. He had mentioned it when he was on the show. I would really love for you to have a conversation with my wife, because you coming from Judaism, and she has questions, it might be a good conversation for you guys to have. And I was like, I love it.
Right.
Then he mentioned just the other day bringing her on the show, and I was like, does she want to come on the show? And he linked us up. I talked to her real short yesterday. I was like, listen, this is the idea. Do you want to come on? And she agreed. I was like, let's stop talking about it right now, because I want the conversation to be so organic when she comes on.
Yeah.
So, when I say, oh, Levi was a Jew, or I'm not putting Judaism down.
No,
I think it's
that.
so cool when, because me growing up with the Jewish faith, I just didn't know who Jesus was.
Right.
I thought it was a statue on a cross.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you were, pretty deep into the Jewish faith at a point, right?
Yeah. I moved away from my house.
Yeah.
That's how deep it was. At 14 years old, I left Queens to go live in a yeshiva, So, yeah, it's going to be so... I'm excited.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a hunter, you know what I mean? So she fits the script, God first, guts and guns.
Yeah.
She's killed animals, and she'll get her hands dirty and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, you're going to get to touch all the bases.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool, man.
So I'm going to talk about how God moved in my life this week after you.
No, I want to hear it.
Oh, gotcha.
I was excited. I forgot that you haven't.
I haven't gone yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. This actually inspired me to bring the scriptures that I'm bringing today, about love God, love people, this is what happened to make me want to speak about this, and I think it's such a, well, let me just get into the story, and I call it the Monte Carlo story, right? So I'm at work and we have two shops. We have our main shop and then we have what we call the red shop. Walked over to the red shop and as I'm leaving, I see this, not the old style, really cool Monte Carlos, but like the newer style, like from the 2000s. When they came back with like the new style.
Yeah, they were more like aerodynamic.
Yeah, almost look like NASCAR, like, you know what I mean?
I had a friend who drove one of those.
There you go. Yeah. And it was orange, and an orange that I kind of like, you know what I mean? So, but the thing about where I work in Commerce City is we have a lot of homelessness. We have a lot of sketchy characters. We have a lot of like, what do you call them? Vagrants?
Transients.
Sure. We have people that'll, park on the street in a camper and like live there out of this camper, which I feel bad for these people, but a lot of times there's drugs involved. And growing up in New York, I've kind of become very callous to people, just like, you're not somebody I want to deal with.
Right.
You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm walking out and this Monte Carlo is Cadillacing. And what I mean by Cadillacing, he's just like idling through the yard. And I see the guy and he's a little disheveled and he sees me and he calls me over to the car, So I go walking over there and I wasn't like super like conditioned yellow or conditioned orange or anything like that. I'm like, oh boy, in my head, here we go. So I go over and he's an old timer, 72 years old. And he says to me, he's like, have you seen my yellow trailer over there? I'm like, no. He's like, well, they stole my tractor and that's my car hauler on the street, just parked by itself. I'm like, oh man, that's a bummer, And he's like, do you guys have any room here to store that? And I was like, nah, like, we're bumper to bumper, like we're mirror to mirror, like we don't have an inch of real estate to put one more thing in this yard, and we don't rent out spaces. And he's like, that's too bad. And he's talking to me a little bit about how bad Colorado's got, and he's now caught my attention where I'm not like, I feel bad for him.
Kind of a regular guy.
Yeah, like he just had a tractor stolen, you know what I mean? And I feel bad, and he's like, I think I'm going to move to Texas and this and that. But my first thing that I said to him was like, I haven't seen one of those in a while, talking about his Monte Carlo. And he's like, this is my second wife's. She just passed away. I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, my first wife passed away too. He's like, God keeps really testing me and I'm trying to stay faithful. And like, so I already knew like this guy, believes, and he loves the Lord because I could just tell. And we're talking, and bro, I don't know what happened because I've never done this before. And my story, but God's glory. Like, this isn't me boasting. Like, this is all about God. It has nothing to do with me, but it has to do with loving people and loving God. So anyway, we talked for about 10 minutes. And I was like, all right, well, I got to get back to work. And then these words just came out of my mouth. I'm like, is it okay if I pray for you before we part ways? And he like sat up and like, you could tell he snapped to attention. Like he wanted that. And I leaned on his car door, like into his window, and he put his hand on my forearm. And now I was just like, that caught me by surprise. Like, this guy really wants prayer, but now like, this guy's touching me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit awkward, but
well,
it's
like
not.
This is all, is all new territory for me. And
you're going to outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
for God, man.
But it wasn't like I was even doing it. The only thing I could describe it to is like when I harvested my last animal, and like all of a sudden I felt like I was watching myself like pull the trigger.
Yeah,
like it was an outer body. And bro, I mean, I don't even know what I said in my prayer. I'm not that person with these grandiose prayers. I just say what's on my heart, and man, I was done. And then he prayed, And then he looked at me. He's like, man, I'm so glad I drove into this yard today. He's like, you've just changed my whole day. And of course I said, well, it wasn't me. Like, praise God. And he just Cadillac'd away from me and just idled out of the yard. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was wild. And I was just like, it just really, it was so funny, man.
Yeah.
But my whole week hasn't been like that. I've been struggling this week. Like, honestly, bro, like I've been a little buck with my thoughts. Like, I could show this total stranger love. And then there's like some people I work with where like I'm like holding on to like, I'll just say hate, like they've let me down, one too many times, or they've lied, one too many times, or they've called off one too many times, or, and I'm not talking about the people that are really hurting and sick or have some mental health issues that can't come to work. I'm talking about you stayed out Sunday night and you didn't come to work on Monday.
Right. Your patience is...
My tolerance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But when I think about it, like, how many times have I let God down? Like, if God was judgmental the way we are, and God's like, you didn't do it right this time, or you did that sin again, or you said that was going to be the last time, or imagine if God judged us the way I judge some people I work with.
Yeah.
There's people at my job, bro, that I absolutely love, and I will help them do anything. And then there's people where it's like, you got a really bad attitude here at work, and I don't want to do anything for you. And when I see them, I create distance, So it's been a struggle. So on one hand, like I had this really great spiritual experience, and on the other hand, I feel kind of, I don't know. I feel ugly a little bit. Feel a little ugly, So I do bring it back to God, and I try to fill my mind with godly things. Sometimes I try to justify my thoughts, but we're going to get into that with these verses. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. That is really a cool story. I feel like I was there. You really did a great job telling the story, and it was moving too, man. I mean, I honestly, that right there, there's been so many times where I needed somebody to offer prayer for me, like on the spot like that. And I mean, I was in that guy's shoes when you were telling that story. And man, I mean, this year has been a really moving, emotional year for me. I mean, we're halfway through it now, but there's been so many times, man, where I've just had tears pouring down my face at church, dude. Like during worship, certain songs just hit me. Certain things, just the way that it's all been put into perspective for me, and just having the right sermons hit on the right days. And it's like, dude, that is just incredible, dude. I'm so glad you did that.
Like I said, man, it's all God.
Yeah, I know, but you're the vehicle, and there's no doubt that guy's day, his whole perspective just shifted after that.
I almost want him to come back, bro. His name is Rusty.
Yeah.
He looks rusty, bro.
Yeah, you think that's his God-given name? I mean, if not, it should be, right?
Yeah, man. Plus his car was like a rust orange.
Oh, man.
It was pretty cool, man.
That's awesome. The Monte Carlo story.
The Monte Carlo story, bro.
Lives on forever now.
Oh, yeah. I remember that forever.
Yeah.
And, I hope he has a safe trip to Texas, or, he doesn't feel like there's anything left in Colorado for him. And, yeah, it's, but he's 72 years old, and he's still working,
Yeah.
So he's lost 2 wives. He's been through some battles.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into the disclaimer. I'm going to include you in the disclaimer.
Okay.
If you'd like.
Yeah, please do.
So we're just a couple dudes who love the Lord. We encourage you to open up your Bibles yourself and dig into these verses and see what they mean to you. Your sin is no sinnier than our sin. And when we're talking on this podcast, we're talking to ourselves just as much, if not more, as we're talking to anybody else. We are not perfect. All right, let's dive in. I just had a funny thought. Like, I made a post a long time ago, shit pastors say. And it's like, turn with me now to Deuteronomy 6:5, or are you tracking? Or, they tell their corny joke.
We've got free Bibles in the back.
Yeah, exactly. So funny. All right, here we go. So Deuteronomy 6:5. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And that's a commandment. And what that means by your heart, your soul, and with all your might is total devotion. Okay?
Yep.
Second scripture, Leviticus 19:18. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the sons of your own people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. And the Study Bible says this is the fundamental principle of the Bible.
It's hard to dispute when you continue on here. I think it'll be proven so.
Yes. Leviticus 19:34. You shall treat the stranger who sojourns with you as the native among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And the Study Bible explains the Israelites knew what this was like since they had been strangers in Egypt. I looked up why does it say I am the Lord at the end of each of those, and it's
I am the Lord.
Yeah,
it's a commandment.
Yeah, like I'm telling you this.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
there's a little bit more to it, but
sure. Okay, well, I want to hear that too. So let's not just cut it short there.
Okay.
And you have that handy, or
I could pull it up. Yeah, it's not too far away.
Because I mean, both of those pieces of scripture both end in "I am the Lord."
Yep.
No Wi-Fi.
No, but I probably have it on my phone here.
I am the Lord.
When he says, I am the Lord your God, he's reminding Israel, you belong to me. I redeemed you. I have the right to set the terms.
Awesome.
Authority and ownership, divine authority. This isn't just a rule. This comes from me.
This is from Bible app?
No.
Oh.
This is just what I found on the interwebs. I am the Lord your God in Leviticus anchors the laws in love and relationship. It establishes God's authority, reinforces Israel's identity, and calls them to be holy like he is holy. It's not about control, it's about belonging. So, yeah, pretty intense.
Yeah.
I love it.
Position myself there. I don't want
there you
Kay
go.
Miller to get mad at me on the wide shots.
She'll yell at you. Yeah, so just really strong, amazing language about loving other people in the Old Testament. But then we're going to jump to the New Testament. And you can find this, I know, in at least two of the Gospels, Luke and Matthew. I think I sent you the scripture from Matthew early in the week. And then just reading it, I switched it to Luke today. So Luke 10:25-37. And this is a parable of the Good Samaritan. When you hear Good Samaritan, what does that make you think of?
I don't know.
First
Charity.
First thing that comes to my mind is a hospital.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Good Sam.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And as a non-believer, I never know what the Good Samaritan was.
Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the hospital, but I don't know.
Did you say charity?
Yeah.
Giving charity to the hospital?
Sure.
So a little bit of background. The Pharisees or the religious zealots, they were trying to test Jesus and like trip him up, and kind of like turn him into a false prophet almost. I hope I'm explaining this right.
That sounds pretty simple to understand. I understand it, so it must be simple.
So the parable of Good Samaritan, there's a lawyer, and behold, a lawyer stood up and put him to the test, saying, Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? He said to him, what is written in the law, and how do you read it? And he answered with the Old Testament. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. And he, Jesus, said to him, you have answered correctly. Do this and you will live. Okay? So when he put him to the test, like, if it was a normal person asking a normal question, that would be fine. But this guy is trying to, like, come at Jesus from a different angle, trying to trip him up.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, right? And he answered correctly with the law from the Old Testament. And then Jesus says, yeah, if you do that, you're going to inherit eternal life. It's impossible to do, though, without Jesus, right?
Yeah.
So, but he, the lawyer, desiring to justify himself, and the word justify in this case means hold himself righteous or be self-righteous, says to Jesus, and who is my neighbor? Which is so interesting because I literally, my across the street neighbors, I do not love them like I love myself. I'm accusing them of being alleged drug addicts because there's all sorts of weird activity goes on over there. Like, I'm getting ready to leave for work and they're still up from the night before. Like, I'm exaggerating, but like vacuuming their grass. Like, we're doing something really strange, you know what I mean?
I watched a neighbor of mine one time wash her car on the inside with the hose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was back in my Inglewood days.
Right.
We had some neighbors that I don't know that we necessarily loved.
Yeah, and when I see this stuff, I think of them, and it's like, I mean, I don't even look at them anymore. And this is the problem in my heart. You know what I mean? I need heart surgery, bro.
I'm understanding where you're going with this. I mean,
because
you can't do what Jesus is commanding us to do with these particular people. You're finding it very difficult.
I'm finding it very difficult because I am a protector by nature. You know, like, I'm pretty by the book with a lot of things, and they're not, and they're my neighbor, and they're an eyesore to me. And like, I have a camera facing their house above my garage. The name of the camera is called the Trap House. Yeah. Anyway, and I would say the same thing to God. Well, who is my neighbor? The neighbor to my south and the neighbor to my north, they're my neighbors. I like them. But the neighbor across the street, like, are they actually my neighbor? I mean, I know the answer, but I wonder, like, if I saw one of them overdosed on fentanyl, like when I'm leaving for work, would I just be like, should I go check on them, or should I call, or should I read about it later? You know, like, it's bad.
Yeah, I think you feel that way now, but I think Jesus would
intervene
and call to you to do the right thing.
Yeah,
and be a good neighbor. You know, it's not just up to one person to be the neighbor. You know, it's a two-way street, I think. You know, and I think, you know, you may not think they may not be a neighbor to you, but you may be a neighbor to them one day, and maybe that makes the difference in their lives.
I mean, that's what this is all about.
Yeah,
this isn't about them being a good neighbor. This is about me being a good neighbor.
Right.
You know, I'm like the lawyer. Like, can I pick my neighbors?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe the lawyer even knew, like, well, I am falling short on the neighbor part, so who's actually my neighbor? Right?
Right. So, okay. Yeah. I was not necessarily following all the way back on that one, but I like that a lot.
Yeah, he's trying to be like, well, who's actually my neighbor? Because if this guy's my neighbor, I got problems.
Yeah, trick question. Yeah, right. Got it.
So Jesus replied, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among robbers who stripped him and beat him and departed, leaving him half dead. Now you got to understand, The road from Jerusalem to Jericho was known for crime. It was like a high crime area where robbers are known to be. And there's a good chance you're going to get messed up if you're by yourself. People used to travel in groups, because they're safety in numbers type thing.
Sure.
And there was also about a 3,000 vertical drop to get down there. It wasn't an easy thing to do. Now, by chance, a priest was going down that road. And when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. That's me. If I see some sketchy people, like, not sketchy like I think they're going to hurt me, but like sketchy like you've done too much meth or fentanyl, I'm walking on the other side of the street, or I don't want you asking me for money or whatever the case may be. I don't want to be near you. I cross to the other side.
You're not alone. I think most people are just like the priest here.
Right? So likewise, a Levite, hey, Levi, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he journeyed, came to where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. He went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he set him on his own animal and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And the next day he took out 2 denarii, which is about 2 days' worth of work, of wages, and gave him to the innkeeper, saying, "Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, I will repay you when I come back." Which of these 3 do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among robbers? He said, the attorney, the lawyer, the one who showed him mercy. And Jesus said to him, "You go and do likewise." Pretty crazy. So what's crazy about that, the Samaritans are from Samaria, and the Jews, they are known to hate each other. Mm-hmm. They had a big beef, both culturally and religiously. They did not get along. It's very weird for a Samaritan to even think about helping a Jew. Mm-hmm. And I read today, like, a Jew would actually not help a Samaritan give birth, because now they're just helping bring in one more Samaritan into the world.
Where'd you hear that?
One of my commentaries.
Yeah. This is a story from the Bible?
Not a story, okay. It's a commentary explaining the relationship between the Samaritans and the Israelites.
This was like a known thing that the Jews said about, hey, we won't even help them give birth.
Right.
Yeah, this is not like this is a fact.
Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And I think somewhere in the New Testament too, there's a story of Jesus, like he's like hanging out by the well, and all his dudes go into town to get like some food or something like that, and the Samaritan woman comes to the well, and he gets caught talking to her.
The woman in the well.
Yeah. And it was like, she was like, "What are you doing talking to me?"
Yeah. Exactly. Very good.
Cool. Yeah.
So here is the unexpected person. You have a Levite and a priest, and when a priest, it's not a Catholic priest. This is a Jewish Israelite priest,
right?
Who are known religious people that should be helping, and they didn't. And then you got the Samaritan. Just picture like being in a racially hostile area, and I won't say colors here, but the one color least expected to help the other color is the actual one that goes and does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty wild. That's how you love your neighbor. I think it's easy for us to love God, our Savior, the guy who saved us, but to love your neighbor, love God, love people, but to love your neighbor as you love yourself. I mean, who do you love like you love yourself? Maybe your kids, your wife.
Yeah, I mean, that's that's kind of why we're broken people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's I don't want to say wrong with the world, but that's why we look to God and look to Jesus to be better neighbors, be better human beings. There's a commentary on this in this
Yeah.
Bible here that I thought was pretty good. I was like 2 seconds before you showed up at the house, I was poking in here and I was like, oh, okay, I wonder if they have like a footnote on this particular passage, and sure enough, they did. So that was kind of exciting for me.
Nice.
And then I read it, and I thought there was some good material here. Hopefully, it's still as good as I thought it was earlier.
Sure, it's going to be amazing.
But I'll just kind of start at this spot here that I think where I started highlighting, because I felt like that's really where, because they basically it jumps off of right from where we left off, where we're talking about the Samaritan being the despised people and the least likely to help, the one that everyone would think is the least likely to help. And it says here, when God has done a work of transformation in our lives, we become the most effective instruments in reaching others with similar needs. Sharing good news is a responsibility we receive when we experience God's powerful help in our lives. As we share the good news, we will experience great joy as others gain hope and find new life in Christ. We will also find our own faith strengthened as we remember what God has done on our behalf. That's why you are a good neighbor. So you can share that with other people.
Sure.
And also experience the joy of doing it and helping them, like praying for Rusty today, being a good neighbor. Like, you were able to you experienced joy from that. There's no doubt about it. I saw it on your face. I experienced joy from you telling me the story about Rusty and how you prayed for him, know? And I think that's obviously what this is all about. I mean, this is the commentary to that from this Bible here. And when I read that earlier, I was like, oh, cool. I'm so glad I read that, because that statement right there, I think, makes it pretty crystal clear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Appreciate you bringing that.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me share it.
Of course. Share everything that you want to.
Yeah, this where this starts here too. And I know, like, from what I've been seeing, they don't always jive up with the titles of the little segments within the chapters. When I go from here to maybe like the Bible app or something, sometimes it's different. But in this particular Bible, they call this section here, it starts on we're Luke 10, verse 25. And it starts right there, and this is called The Most Important Commandment, is the title in the book here.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. A couple other verses. Well, just one more verse to back all this up. And this is 1 Peter 4:8. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. The enduring word goes on to say, for love will cover a multitude of sins. Love does cover a multitude of sins, both the sins of the one loving and the sins of the one being loved. Where love abounds in fellowship of Christians, many small offenses, and even some large ones, are readily overlooked and forgotten. But where love is lacking, every word is viewed with suspicion, every action is liable to misunderstanding, and conflicts abound to Satan's perverse delight. And that was a quote by somebody named Grudem.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely not where you want to end up, man. I mean, I think this is kind of what you were talking about earlier with some of your coworkers, other people in your workplace.
Right.
And I definitely experienced this in some of my relationships, some of my closest relationships, when you forget that love is the most important thing that you can do for those around you and for yourself, it goes bad really fast, and it can spiral out of control. And yeah,
if you're busy loving people, you can't be busy hating them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Simple, man.
It is pretty simple, huh? Well, my hope and prayer for myself this week coming up, and for you, of course, and anybody listening, is to be more loving and less judging of who I want to love and not pick and choose. I would love to just be able to exude love like Jesus does to anybody I come in contact with. But y'all need to quit making it so hard.
Well, you're only you, man. You know,
that's true.
It's your work in progress.
Yeah, and I love to be able to come on here and just be transparent about it.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not perfect, and you know, I mean, there's a couple sayings that I try not to say them anymore, but one is like, you know, there was a Christian rapper, and his like tagline was, "I'm saved, not soft." You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, I'm following Jesus, but you know, you can still catch these hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
sure.
you know, I'm from the south side of the kingdom. You know what I mean? I'm careful to say those things because ultimately that's not what it's about.
No,
you know,
but you know, that's the reality of the world we live in, dude. And we're human beings, and we experience all these emotions, and
100%.
It's hard to not sometimes just get caught up in the moment and forget what the most important thing is, and how you can, you know, change your day, somebody else's day, by just being a little more patient, a little more understanding, a little more loving. And you know, it's interesting. Without, I don't know, I guess, I mean, we're here to be personal and get personal about things. So, you know, I experienced this in my life, personal life, and my relationship with my wife in the last couple of days. You know, we've had kind of some ups and downs and over some silly things. And I just think we're just forgetting that love trumps all else, you know, and we were getting caught up in the little things instead of just loving each other and letting those things go. And you know, it caused some little bit of conflict, and definitely some turbulence. You know, we were able to sort things out pretty quick, but I you know, I had to go pray about it, man. I did, and it was weird, dude. I the second I prayed about it, immediately after, you know, putting all of my energy into praying about it, everything just turned completely around from that point.
I love that.
I kid you not. I mean, it was, I want to say it was a complete 180. I mean, there were still some things that needed to happen to get us to the you know, back to loving, but I knew we were going to get there immediately after that prayer. And I mean, I almost forgot about it, and then it just happened, and I was like, it was amazing. Undeniable.
That's so great, man.
So,
do you ever pray with Grace? Pray together?
No, we haven't.
Not
I mean,
yet.
Sometimes at like mealtime and stuff, but,
right?
You know,
No, I'm talking about in like a moment like that.
No, we haven't. But I'm sure, you know, as I continue to learn and experience more of God's grace, that those things will probably become much easier to do.
I mean, how amazing though to be able to walk away, regain your composure through prayer. You called on the Lord, bro, to step in and guide you.
I did.
And that's exactly what happened. You know, and that's how you lead your family, bro.
You know, like, and I didn't go back with like a plan or anything. And I didn't necessarily go back thinking that like it was going to redirect and he was going to help us figure it out, man. But it was pretty quick. We were back in moving into the right direction.
So good.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things I was thinking about. I wasn't sure if I was going to share it, but I think time timing was
Shout
perfect.
to the interwebs, bro. Thanks for being transparent.
Yeah.
I love that. Good stuff. Happy for you and Grace, man, and your kids.
Thank you.
All right, man. Anything? Do you want to talk about the scriptures anymore before we move on?
No, I think we really
hit it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know that I have anything else necessarily to add to it. I love this parable of the Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
You know, we leading up to Easter, Jim did a whole series. The whole first part of the year was basically him teaching through the parables.
Nice.
Which was really cool. I enjoyed most of them. You know, there were some that maybe I just didn't connect with, but this one was definitely on my radar. And when I actually saw this in here today, it clicked a lot more for me than the one that you sent me from Matthew earlier in the week, because it didn't. I don't think it touched on the Good Samaritan.
It didn't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, and honestly, I remember the quote from Jim Bergen: "Love God, love people. Love God, love people. Love God, love people." And I just put that in the Bible app, and then I saw what verses it came up with. But this is like in the middle of the week where I'm like super, super busy. And then finally, when I sat down to write this outline this morning, I started digging around a little bit more. And I'm like, this is the one we really need to talk about, because it just related so much and made me think a little bit more. You know?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Man. Good job.
Thank you. You as well. What's been happening at Big Horn lately? Anything exciting?
Yeah, we've been kind of working towards bringing a new guy on. He's going to start on the 12th, so that's going to take a little bit of stress off the team.
Nice.
But there's only 4 of us right now running the whole program. The beginning of this year, we started with, we have a part-time guy Saturday, so 5 of us if we count Matt on Saturday, which we have to count him because I wouldn't be here if he wasn't there. So
there we go.
But this year we started off with 3 more guys than we currently have.
Wow.
So it's been a little bit tricky, man, but we're working more efficiently. I think the communication is really good right now. It's really peaceful with only 4 guys.
Sure.
And we got the gunsmiths too, but that's their own, they're their kind of own entity in there, but
Sure.
we do obviously interact with them all day long, every day.
Right.
So total of 6 guys in there, but going down from 9 guys, it's much more peaceful in there. And I've really been enjoying that a lot. It's just like, you know, it's a little less chatter.
Sure.
You know, and noise in the background during the work function.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, it's been cool, man.
Probably cool for payroll too.
Yeah. Well, you know, we can get into that later. You know, because I'm doing I'm doing right by some people. So
nice.
You know, I sent him off. Our main guy Dagan off proper and made sure he got taken care of with his PTO and all that
Sure.
stuff. So, but yeah, it's been a little less stressful on that end.
Nice.
And it allows me to spread it around a little bit more with the guys who have, you know, stuck it out.
Yep.
Which is nice, being able to kind of treat them a little bit better.
Nice.
What else? You know,
now this new guy, I mean, obviously you vetted him and he fits in, because you got kind of a special group of people that work there.
Yeah. I think he'll, you know, he's moldable, and I think he'll kind of find his, you know, his place within the crew. And I think also too, with some of the guys that have like left, I think it allows us to be a little bit more forgiving to somebody who maybe isn't the perfect fit. You know, not to talk negatively on anybody who's gone, but I just feel like the guys who are there are, and also being short staffed for as long as we have been, and doing the additional work, everyone's a little more open-minded.
They want him to succeed.
Yeah. So, I think we're moving in a good direction here. The other kind of big thing that's pending right now is the $0 tax stamp coming in January with the big beautiful bill going
Nice.
through. So no more $200 tax stamps on NFA items.
Do you think the prices of the actual suppressors are going to go down, or is that going to stay the same?
Oh, they're not going down.
Okay.
They might go up.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's going to be a supply and demand issue, big time.
Right.
Come January.
Good point.
And that's what I've been telling a lot of people is like, yeah, inventory is going to be a little more scarce. Because a lot more people are going to be buying silencers. I don't know what to expect about wait times either. There's a lot of people that are offering like, will you buy the can now and we'll hold it until January? I mean, if we sell collectively, I don't know, 50,000 silencers and then hold them and don't start processing the paperwork until January, and then everybody starts processing the paperwork on 50,000 suppressors that have been sold prior to January on January 1,
so
is it going to implode the system? I don't
so
know.
you need a background check still to buy a suppressor?
Yes, you still have to submit the Form 4, which during that process, FBI or NFA runs a NICS background check, through the system, through the FBI NICS system.
Got it.
So yes, you still have to it's still registered, which is actually turns out to be the best case scenario for people in Colorado, because if they took the registration aspect of it away, then it becomes a destructive device without a registration, and it becomes illegal to own in Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah. So this worked out as good as it possibly could for the state of Colorado. And I think about maybe like a dozen other states or so, if I remember correctly.
What's the current wait time for a tax stamp for a suppressor?
I mean, we've been seeing 24 hours.
Wow.
I
waited 15 months, bro.
Yeah.
15 months.
Yeah. 48 hours, 24, 48 hours. And then I would say most within 2 weeks. If you go beyond 2 weeks right now, there might be problems. And you should probably reach out to NFA and see if they're experiencing a delayed background check. And if you are experiencing a delayed background check, at that point, I would cancel your form. And then I would go through the FBI process of obtaining it's a UPIN. It's an FBI UPIN. I want to say they call it a VAF or something like that. It's like a verified something. Call me at the shop and I'll tell you what it's called, or look it up. But it's a NICS FBI UPIN.
Okay.
And that will help you not get caught up in the delayed background check bucket.
Got it.
Once you have that UPIN.
It's like going through going through the airport, TSA with one of those, like.
Kind of. Yeah. That's a good analogy for sure. I mean, it's basically.
They've already checked you out.
Yes. Yeah. You're showing up like, hey, I'm already clear. Here's my UPIN. And once you have that, then you won't get delayed in the NFA process. But we've had, I would say, 3 or 4 of those turn up in the last, few months. Had one guy go through it and actually get the UPIN and then get approved. And then I've got about 4 guys right now that need to do it.
Gotcha.
So all the other previous guys, the earlier guys that experienced this, it took them a whole year. They were delayed and they didn't know it. So you can call them and find out if you're delayed. I mean, but honestly, I'll tell you right now, if you're going longer than like
2 weeks,
2 weeks, really, but like let's say 30 to you're in the 30 to 60 days, you're probably delayed. And unless it's a trust, and then that's a different story. But I've even been seeing trusts come back in like less than 30 days.
So like that single shot trust that I did, is that still recommended or?
Yeah, those come back quicker because it's like there's usually only one member on the trust.
Right.
So when it's a traditional trust, they have to do like, they have to dive a little bit deeper and they have to check multiple people potentially, if you have more than one member in your trust, they got to check every single member out before they approve it. So, single shot trusts are still, and this is all through silencershop.com. Good dudes. They figured it out for everybody. They made this all possible.
Right.
All of this is thanks to Silencer Shop.
Love
So,
it.
you got to give credit where credit's due, man.
So I have a single shot trust, and then I want you to have access to the items on my trust. Am I able to add you to the single shot? Or is that the whole?
I believe so, but I will tell you this. I'm going to get that information clarified. I've got a good buddy over at Silencer Shop, and that is a question I've been meaning to ask, but I get so distracted during the day-to-day that I sometimes forget these things. But that I'm not 100%, but I'll get you that info, and then on the next episode, maybe you can slide that in to the next episode, so any return listeners who are curious about that will have that info.
That's awesome. I like that.
I think that's
so really the big beautiful bill is just ending the money.
$0 tax.
Right.
It's a $0 tax.
The process is the same. You just don't have to pay for that.
Yep.
So where it would cost you $1,500 before, maybe for the suppressor and the trust and the tax stamp, you're looking at maybe $1,300. Or I'm sure there's cheaper options too.
Yeah, sure.
You could probably get in under. What's the cheapest setup you could get?
I mean, there's some decent. I mean, it just depends on what caliber you're talking to. Like rimfire 22 caliber silencers, or
a couple $100.
Yeah, you can get them as cheap as like $300 or less.
Gotcha.
So a $200 tax stamp on an item like that, is a big deal. Those are going to be the ones that are going to sell out too, because everyone wants to get a silencer. A lot of people are going to go for the cheapest silencer, $200-$300, slap it on a 22, and shooting 22 rimfires suppressed is a lot of fun, man. It's pretty quiet.
My buddy Dalton, he's got a gray bow. I don't know what barrel he threw on there, but I mean, this thing is like, and it's suppressed, and it's like you can't even tell you're shooting it.
Yeah. So those will probably sell first, but let's say like 5.56 is going to be like or 30 caliber can. I mean, you can get into some pretty good stuff around $500-$600.
Gotcha.
It's not going to be the most lightweight, and
titanium.
Yeah, but titanium cans, you're talking like $1,200.
Yeah, that's
flow through technology. You're talking.
I got the Hux Workflow 762 or whatever.
Yeah, $1,200 for those.
Actually, mine's a OSS.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know. I kind of like those. I don't know that those were 3D printed back then. Is it titanium?
It's titanium.
Yeah. I think the quality. I like the quality of those OSS. All the newer stuff is 3D printed, and it's not bad. It's just like it just doesn't feel as like finished. I like kind of. I pay attention to that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Fit and finish, and it's a big deal for me. There's a lot of these 3D printed ones, and it's just like they just feel real rough, and I don't know. They don't appeal to me as much. I mean, at the end of the day, they do the same thing, regardless. But I am kind of like a quality snob when it comes to the gun stuff these days.
Have you seen my 308?
The full setup?
Yeah.
It's not maybe all the way finished.
It's the fit and finish on the Mega Arms.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you upgraded to that.
No, I've always had the Mega Arms. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're talking about
my AR 308.
Yeah. And those were like an offshoot, or they had some sort of affiliation with Zev Tech, right?
Zev bought them.
Okay.
Yeah, so Zev bought them. They've kind of continued. They may have some old stock left, but they bought Mega Arms.
Yep.
But yeah, my upper receiver and handrail is monolithic.
Oh yeah,
it's all one piece. Yep. I
love that.
It's fit to the it's a match set to the lower.
Yep.
Then the finish on it is just it's a beautiful gun, bro.
Yeah, like they paid attention and like kind of made it feel very nice when you hits your hands.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a Noveski or
it's like,
something like that.
Just looking at it and touching it is just kind of
yeah. I love that, dude. That is like huge for me. Radiant Arms makes a really nice, super fine finished
nice
AR platform. Noveski is probably one of the best in that category. And obviously Mega's not really doing stuff now, but I do remember getting those in when they were like pretty hot shit. Excuse me. Back, I want to say back in the day. I mean, it's like probably eight years ago, they were like the hotness, and like they were hard to get. And I remember some of them come through and I was like, dang, this thing is sick.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about, a G for,
yeah.
Yeah.
And Wilson Combat has a reputation for that sort of quality too when it comes to rifles. Trying to think if there's anybody else. HK, is it's not as like it's not quite as like fine of a finish.
The quality is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Some of the older HK rifles though, from like like let's say the 90s, man, the butteriness of the action on those guns and like the way that the metal was just finished. I mean, you look at old Winchesters, old Winchesters versus new Winchesters, dude. I mean, they paid so much more attention to the details. Old Smith & Wesson revolvers versus current production Smith & Wesson revolvers. Not that there's anything, the new ones are bad, but you can tell that there was like a craftsman finished that gun, just like your Mega Arms, just like a Noveski. Like there was a craftsman that had hands on that thing before it got, coated or anodized or whatever.
Right.
Somebody sat there and just made sure that thing was perfect. And that's a big deal, man. I mean, that I pay attention to that stuff all day long, man. I mean, I remember the first time, getting hands on guns like that and just being like, dude, this is what it's all about.
Sure.
Like, I can't wait till, and I owned a gun shop back then. It was a lot different, but I was like, man, I can't wait to be able to afford something like this.
Sure.
So, we say at the shop, buy once, cry once. And we just recently made a sign and posted it up on the wall, framed it, put it up on the wall.
I'm big on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've all been down that road.
That's my motto.
Yeah. We've all been down that road.
That's why I'm broke.
Yeah.
Just crying one time.
Yeah.
Forever.
So, or you can just like keep crying.
Yep.
And you're going to end up in the same place with a really nice gun eventually, but there's going to be a lot more crying.
Absolutely. What's going on? I know, is it U.S.? Who came in? Which group came in and said they wanted to be exclusive?
Law Shield.
U.S. Law Shield.
Yeah.
Has that kicked off?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had them come and do a table. I mean, we're still not really pushing. We don't really have any classes right now. So, but yeah, Law Shield, they came and set up a table and they did a little promo where basically if you signed up for the trial membership, they gave you a $20 coupon to use in the store that day.
Okay.
And that went pretty good, man. I mean, I was pushing people. I was making sure to push people over there because I want to show them that, we can produce for them.
Sure.
And I think as we continue to do the tables and everyone just starts to kind of get it in their head that like, hey, this is an important partnership that we have here. I think we're going to do really good for them and we're going to do really good for ourselves.
Nice.
And I think they offer a great product. You sat in on that one thing
over shooting doors.
Yeah. Where they covered that big case that they did with that one law firm out of, it was like, I don't know, Crested Butte or something.
No, it was
Telluride.
Telluride.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It seemed like they have a good product for sure. Obviously, I'm a firearms legal protection. I represent FLP. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I feel like, I don't know, not that I need a lot of support, but ever since Matt's been gone, like, there's very limited support. It was kind of cool, the class I had the other day, I still included in my presentation. I don't shove it down people's throats, though. And then I had 2 people sign up. One signed up for family and one signed up as an individual. And I was like, hopefully my account's still good. And it all went right through, you know what I mean?
Cool.
So it is cool. I'm not married to them, though. One group that I have been looking at is CCW Safe. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they got a podcast out. So right away, I'm biased. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
But I was just interested about how things are going with the U.S. Law Shield over there, and
yeah, I would say support wise, they're being pretty active.
Nice.
I think they still got to work some. Phooey. They got to still work some bugs out.
That's awesome, bro.
But I think, because they've gone through a big transition to where they're at now.
Sure.
And, so I still think they got some things to kind of figure out. But overall, I feel like I've got some good contacts there.
Nice.
And they're, I put them in a position to take this relationship very seriously too.
Right.
So
yes.
they're working on it, and they're putting in the effort. And we've got a good rep, Tanya, who's our direct contact now, and was
she at the event we went to?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
But she's very nice, and she does a good job. I think she really did a great job with the table setup.
Nice.
I don't know if she'll be always running the tables. I think right now, since she wants to make sure that it's getting done correctly, and she can kind of get a feel for like what it's going to be like over there, so she can train somebody else. Because I think she's a little bit higher up.
Sure.
She shouldn't necessarily be running the tables, but she does a really bang up job doing it. So yeah, so far so good with that. Yeah,
I feel like all these prepaid legal services went through a pretty big change July 1st with the rest of us instructors, because a lot of these companies, their pitch was during a 3-hour basic concealed carry class.
Yeah.
It was a lot of that, no shooting. I think a lot of the instructors, like for me to pivot and teach this new class, it was like I had 2 hours, I did some things. Right. I feel like it's affected things, and I'll explain that in a minute. But, these people were teaching a 3-hour class with no shooting, and now they got to teach an 8-hour class with a 50-round shooting test. Mm-hmm. Where do you do that at? And in a timely manner, where it's, didn't change my stuff very much, but if you were teaching inside with no range time, that's a big difference.
Yeah. I think for a lot of instructors that were running the classes, like the real minimal class, teaming up with a group like U.S. Law Shield or FLP and having them come into your class will probably make it a lot easier for you to get to the 8-hour requirement.
Gotcha.
Having to do a lot of extra heavy lifting. And some of them, I know Law Shield offers instructor support, and they will get you verified and then basically provide you like a full-on 8-hour class, like template, PowerPoint or whatever it is to follow. So, there's definitely some benefits. I think they came up with some really good ideas. I always liked FLP. I'll tell you one thing I really liked was their marketing was good. It was clean. I liked it was modern. I do still have some contacts over there. If you decide to, keep rolling with them, if you're having a hard time getting support, I can give you a couple guys contact info. I don't know if they're going to show up though, man. Like, to be honest with you, they seem like, I don't know. Yeah.
That's all good.
Yeah.
What I like about FLP is you got 3 choices. Mm-hmm. It's very simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the coverages are great and the price is right. You get good coverage for good money.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have this a la carte,
right.
15 rows of things to pick from. But
I think a lot of these other companies saw what they were doing and are
simplified
now
it,
kind of copying it.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
But
cool.
Hey, man, it's a pretty simple thing. But everybody, if you carry a gun, or you keep a gun in the house for self-defense, you should have it.
Yes.
If it's going to take one time you pulling that trigger, and it doesn't just cover you for guns. If you got to use your fists or you got to use a
chair,
rock
sand,
or a chair, yeah, you're covered, man.
Some places are firearms only.
Yeah.
Some aren't.
I don't think FLP is, and I know Law Shield is.
FLP is any weapon of opportunity.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. So this leads me to my pitch. Since we're in this area,
Here we go.
We've talked about it before.
Yes.
That was easy.
Yeah.
I do want to see if we could get a Stop the Bleed class going over there. I was hoping Kay Miller would have had the promo video done for my Stop the Bleed class, but it sounds like perhaps we may need to film another one. So I would love to be able to pick out a date to potentially use a classroom, put on a class there. And
it's pretty wide open right now, dude. It might be cool to do it on a day where we have Law Shield scheduled, because then we get a lot of activity
walk-ins
going on. I think it'd be good for everybody. So maybe we can talk about that if you're open to it.
Of course. I'll try anything, bro.
But the classroom is pretty wide open right now, man.
Okay.
Unless somebody shows up with a big gun collection. Sometimes I use that as a viewing area, but obviously if we got something lined up, I'll find somewhere else to do that.
Yeah. I'm super flexible, and to me, it would just be an honor to be able to do it down there.
The answer is yes.
The winter's coming up. I probably got maybe 2 or 3 classes left. Once I go hunting, I shut down my firearms instruction until like March, April, depending on the weather. So I've really wanted to get the medical thing going, my CPR classes, my Stop the Bleed classes, and man, I've just been so busy, and I need to breathe a little bit, but I'd love to get something on the books for, perhaps September. So
yeah,
cool.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Glad we didn't have to arm wrestle. Well, we got one thing left to do here on the Rebel Yankee Podcast today, and that is show and tell. And probably can't really see this very good, but it has to do with this round right here. So why don't you go ahead and
that ridiculous looking thing?
Is this a missile? What so insane.
I mean, these are the Fort Scott, so I don't think they're 285 grain, and it's a Fort Scott copper projectile. So like, I don't even know what the weight goes up to in like a standard lead projectile.
Did you say it was 200 grains?
285 grain.
Wow.
And that's the solid copper spun projectile.
Wow.
Unless they're doing it different.
I did notice some. Can you read their tagline on there?
On here?
Yeah.
Which one?
You'll see it.
In God we trust.
There we go.
The ammo we carry.
There we go.
Yeah. These guys. They're a great company, man. They're out of Missouri.
8.6 blackout.
8.6 blackout.
What does blackout mean? Because everyone knows 300 blackout. That's like the SBR round for the house that's suppressed.
I think it just sounds cool, and so they went with that.
Okay.
But yeah, 300 blackout kind of started that whole the blackout craze. That's where it all began. And the 300 blackout is basically, I want to say, like a 308 projectile shoved into a 5.56 case.
Gotcha.
And this is a 338 projectile shoved into a 6.5 Creedmoor case.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So a lot of energy coming out, heavy projectile. It's not really like a crazy long distance, but this 8.6 subsonic big game 300 yards plus, and then with drop, and then supersonics 500 yards.
Yeah, I heard them talking about they shot a zebra from like 700 yards.
So Q developed this cartridge.
Gotcha.
It's their brainchild, and the owner and some of his, I'll just say entourage, but some of his guys, and they've been over in Africa just like slaying African big game. And I know like people get weird about the African trophy hunting big game, but dude, it's conservation. It's just like it's done just the way it's done here in North America. There's science to it. It's not like people are just out there just slaying elephants, but there's really nothing they haven't shot with this cartridge out there, and it's a devastating round.
I don't want to get hit by it.
Yeah, the wound cavity this thing causes is insane. and they're dropping just like massive, like hard to kill animals in Africa, like nothing. So
you mentioned subsonic, which is less than the speed of sound.
correct.
Is subsonic.
Correct.
Supersonic is more than the speed of sound.
Right.
So when you shoot something supersonic, that's what gives you that crack, because the projectile is
Breaking
passing
the sound
through. It's breaking the sound barrier. So this will never break the sound barrier, so you don't get that crack.
Right. And then you put a silencer in front of it, and it's super quiet. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, I notice you say silencer a lot, and you're the gun guy, so I can't argue with you. It's like mag or clip, right? Is it a silencer or a suppressor?
Well, I think the guy who originally invented it called it a silencer. So it was a silencer. That's just it. It's like a patented thing.
Plus, it's called Silencer Co. or Silencer Shop. Not suppressor shop.
It's like a potato type of thing. It's a silencer, it's a suppressor. Call it whatever you want. Different companies call it different things. And that's pretty much.
But it'll keep you from going deaf and blind in your house.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Bro, that short is still going, bro.
Oh yeah,
I
gotta get on the TikTok. I haven't been messing with that. I gotta like re-download it. But
it's so funny.
We did set up a TikTok account right before they were like shutting it down, so we had one.
Gotcha.
And but I need to go on there and read the comments.
It's so funny.
It's probably awesome.
Yeah.
There's been a lot.
I try not to delete comments, but the one that called me a Democrat got deleted.
Oh, come on.
We can't have that.
Yeah.
There's some other pretty great ones, but
yeah, you can't delete them all. It'll be too hard probably at this point. How many comments are there?
Probably 300.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
170,000 views. Yeah. 300 comments, 280 people call me an idiot.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
You went viral.
I went viral.
That's what you want.
I guess.
Let's say more dumb things and go viral.
So, I'm all about that. So you said Q developed this.
Yeah.
Now, what is Q?
Q?
Yeah.
Good question. They're a firearms manufacturer based out of New Hampshire. Dover, New Hampshire.
Okay.
The owner is an engineer. He was in the gun world as an engineer for, I don't know, a considerable amount of time. Worked for Remington and some other a slew of other companies, and mostly focused in the silencer stuff, if I understand correctly. And if not, leave a comment and tell me I'm an idiot. And let's make this thing go viral.
I'll be your first comment. You're an idiot. What does Q stand for?
You know what? That is a good question.
Quiet?
I don't know. I'm going to probably, next time they do a Q&A on their Instagram, I'm going to ask that question.
There you go.
I could probably text Cole and
you could probably call somebody right now.
I don't know. I mean, would that be weird?
I mean,
how much time are we into this?
I have no idea. I never know.
I need to. We're into it for a while though.
Yeah, we're almost wrapped up.
Let's see. There's a picture of us in front of the new studio art.
Yes,
I love it. Let's see. Cole texted me back earlier. He did not. Sometimes he doesn't text me back for like 24 hours or longer, and it really irritates me.
That's unacceptable.
But I
wonder if there's a company out there called R. And it stands for responsive. No, I'm just kidding.
So I'm gonna hit him up on that, but that would probably be a good one to drop on the Q&A, because they do that a lot on their page.
Sweet.
They just ask a question type of thing, and that's a good question.
Nice.
So I'll find out.
Do you have any? Well, let's just get to the show and tell.
Okay.
I don't know how to frame this, but tell us what you brought.
All right, let me just get kind of set up here so I don't make a mess and this thing. All right, is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. The mic will probably be in my face a little bit, but I don't know how else to do this without making it sound terrible.
I went through a whole show with Todd Zielinski with the mic covering my face.
No, that's why I said that. I actually noticed that when I was watching it the other day.
You're
I
like,
was like,
who gave this bozo a mic?
is it always like that?
Is it like that right now? I've been really
No.
trying.
No, you're perfect.
Wow, look at that.
Okay. This is the Q Fix
Can we-
rifle bolt action.
Can we safety check that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I see you have the trigger.
Oh, no. I probably don't have a thing to take that off either.
That's fine.
Tag off here too. It's $3,200
Ooh-wee.
without all this stuff on there.
So this one's all hooked up.
Yeah, this one we dressed it up for the shop. It just gives people good inspiration for what they can do and why they should buy the gun.
Right.
You know, because you can make it look cool. So
And shoot a zebra. Thank you.
yeah. Standard
P-Mag.
AR-10 PMAG.
Sweet.
So this is a large frame gun. They also do make a what they call a mini fix, which runs it's short action, and you can get that in a couple different calibers.
Yeah, these guys gave away a mini fix at the last event at your shop.
Yep.
And the guy with the baby, he was killing it.
He cleaned house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did good.
He ended up, I think, with the pistol version of this gun. This is the 12-inch, but this is the SBR. So fully adjustable stock. You do need a tool to make some of the adjustments on the cheek riser. The butt pad is adjustable for drop, and then also length of pull here. These, you do kind of need a tool for these too, but you can, they also have these kind of clamp, lock, like washer type deal on here.
Gotcha.
Standard AR-15 pistol grip, standard AR-15 style safety, and mag release. So it's basically the same control setup as an AR-15, which is nice because that's going to be familiar to a lot of shooters. It's got the little short throw bolt, which is really cool and it's pretty fast.
And that action is like proprietary to Q.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of their stuff is proprietary.
I mean, it's really smooth.
Yeah. The only gun that they do that's like kind of a standard gun is the Sugar Weasel, and even that's got a lot of their their house-made parts on it. But
Gotcha.
It's the closest thing to like a standard platform.
Gotcha.
What else? So you got the Q rail here with the Q cert integration. So like all of your accessories here. Now, if you don't have Q cert accessories, you can attach like a Q cert pick rail section and then attach to the pick rail.
Gotcha.
Supposedly, I believe I heard that there might be like an M-lock adapter in the works. So like you can attach your M-lock slot there and then attach your M-lock accessories.
I'd be going with that Q cert.
I will say go Q or go home.
There you go.
Maybe they should steal that and put it on a shirt or a sticker or something. But this is the Q cert direct mount kickstand is the bipod.
Gotcha.
And it's pretty neat. It doesn't have a ton of adjustments, but you got 45, 90, and then to release these, it's just.
Is that about a 12-inch? Probably.
Yeah, something like that. Pretty close. And then lock it. We got the short chop silencer on there.
That's also made by Q.
Yes. Yeah, this is their. So direct, quick detach with their whole taper system, which is pretty superior. I mean, I've run a decent amount of rounds through my Honey Badger, which has the same device on there. It's called the Cherry Bomb.
The Cherry Bomb, that's it.
I think that's what they're calling it on this one too, in the 8.6. But I'm pretty sure it's just an 8.6 Cherry Bomb.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Who knows? They got all sorts of weird names.
Cool names, yeah.
But the way this whole taper lock system works here with this taper shoulder here and the threads back here, it's not likely to carbon lock on you. I mean, I've run quite a few rounds through that honey badger, and I have no problem just hand screwing the can off.
Nice.
And then I also don't really have any issues with the can walking off while you're shooting it. So
nice.
And it's super fast. Like a lot of getting cans threaded on things is like really awkward. This, you just plop it on there. It just threads.
Nice.
That is the short chop. And then this is...
So is that basically, because you said this is a 338 Lapua
Yes.
in a 6.5 case. Is that a 30 cal can then?
It's 338.
Yeah,
it's just their specific 8.6
Gotcha.
is what it's designated.
Got it.
So you could shoot 30 cal through this.
Right.
Yeah, because this is going to be larger than that.
Sure.
These come shipped with a factory pick rail on the top, but they teamed up with this company Reptilia, and they made you basically take the pick rail off, and then this scope mount direct mounts to the top of the receiver and the handguard. So super rigid. It's repeatable. So if you have to take your scope, well, I guess if you have to take your scope off, you have to take off the scope here. So I don't know. I have to go back and read my product sheets on this one, and just so I can have all this real advantages of the scope mount. I'll tell you one big advantage is it looks really cool.
It does look cool.
This is in their clear anodize. They also do it in black and a tan now. They just released both of those colors. We've got the black ones in stock in the shop.
I like how that matches a kickstand.
Yeah. So this is like the same kind of the clear anodize. They do the honey badger, the sugar weasels, pretty much boombox. All their other guns are in that clear anodized, and then every once in a while they'll do a limited run of a different color or something like that. They also, the sugar weasel, the standard AR platform, we call it standard, but their AR platform gun, they offer that in clear or black. I want to say, I don't know if all the barrels are Noveski on these, but they're teaming up with Noveski to do some of the barrels, and Noveski is known for making some of the best barrels in the industry. So
nice.
They've been synonymous with that for a long time now. And then we got the Night Force SHV 3-10 by 42 on there. This is their hunting line. I can't remember MSRP on these off the top of my head, but Night Force makes some of the best glass.
Is that first or second focal plane?
It's a good question. So second.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think that's kind of folding stock too, which is really stiff, but
does that kickstand flip the other way?
question. About to find out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the only disadvantage of running
Kickstand.
the bipod on there is you're not going to get shorter than that.
All right.
And with the short chop, you're really about the same length.
Sure. The mini fix, what's the length on that? Because the mini fix is like, you throw that in a backpack.
So they do a 300 blackout mini fix that's pretty small. I want to say it's an 8-inch or something like that. They do a 5.56 SBR too, but I think it's only like it's like a 12 or something like that. You don't really want to go shorter than that on a 5.56 anyway.
They don't do the 8.6?
No, they do a shorter barrel in the 8.6 too. I want to say it's an 8. This is a 12 and an 8.
But the mini fix, do they?
So the mini fix is just referring to the action size.
Oh, gotcha.
So the fix is going to be 8.6 and all the big boy rounds.
Gotcha.
And then the mini fix is like the short action rounds, 5.56, 300 blackout.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of companies doing aftermarket barrels for these now too, like lightweight carbon barrels and stuff like that. So, I mean, these are pretty well respected rifles, and they are. It's a hunting gun.
Yeah, so I definitely want to get something made by Q. I mean, it's so hard for me not to want the Honey Badger, but I love bolt guns.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, that thing is just, man.
Yeah. So I have I've had a 6.5 Creedmoor demo model ordered for a while. I'm waiting on that thing. I'm hoping soon, but it keeps getting pushed back. I think they're having some sort of supply issues with the barrels or something like that.
Yeah, you want to talk about fit and finish. I mean, this is just, to me, this is artwork.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of art. Everything is so perfect.
Yep.
Now, when you shoot this, what kind of kick does this have?
I haven't had the opportunity to shoot 8.6 yet, but with the can, I hear it's just like pretty soft. Yeah, I've shot the 5.56 mini fix not too long ago with the guys from Black Canyon Systems. After our event, we did a little range day YouTube video. You can go to their YouTube page and check that out. But we did some shooting with the mini fix that day. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
I mean, we were goofing around a little bit, so like, we had a new product out there, the gun butter. It's a new lubricant, and we were like, those guys are pretty goofy, so we were like putting the lube, the gun butter, on the bolt handle. So like, I wouldn't say like I had like the best grasp on the bolt handle when I was trying to cycle it.
That's one thing I wanted to look at.
But it is a pretty small bolt handle, but honestly, the way that it's shaped, I feel like it handles pretty well. And I was getting pretty fast with it, even with a bunch of gun butter on the actual bolt handle, which is not where you normally would put that.
Yeah, the action on this is just...
Yeah, and you can set it back down. But unfortunately, we can't mess with the trigger, because I forgot that we have to put these silly trigger locks on the guns now.
Hopefully this isn't screwing up my focus.
Well, it might do that.
Maybe.
But the gun will be in focus.
Yeah.
That's what people want to look at. They've been looking at you for like an hour and 20 minutes now. They want to look at the gun.
I doubt they look at me the whole time.
So
I hope not.
Yeah, so the state of Colorado's got us doing these silly trigger locks because somehow that makes the public safer. When we have guns that are not locked behind glass, they have to have some sort of locking device on the gun.
Right.
Which is
insanity.
Public safety, man. Number one priority, and that accomplishes it.
I got to say that action. So I love my Savage. Like, I love my hunting rifle, but the action on that, like the bolt, is just like not my favorite.
On the Savage?
Yeah, on a 110 high country, it's real sloppy.
They tend to be a little bit sloppy.
Yeah, this thing is like, it is like perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Yep.
I think in a bolt action though, like a little bit of slop is not a bad thing, man. It allows the gun to function. It allows, it has some sort of reason. There's a reason behind it, and it is, it's just allows things to just line up, right? I think when you run any sort of action, like overly tight tolerances like that, you're more likely to experience feeding issues.
Okay.
So
I didn't realize that.
I think it's by design. Some are sloppier than others, and I would say that the Savage is probably on the sloppier side of things.
Yeah. I got to really pay attention. Like, if I'm hunting and my adrenaline's going, take that first shot and go to rack that next one, I got to really make sure, like, I am dialed in to make sure that next round's feeding.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Cool. Well, right on, Ryan. I'd say this was a good show. Do you have any final thoughts before we go?
Man, final thoughts. Here we go. We were talking about this earlier before we actually started the podcast. I look forward to doing this again. This is an awesome time. We get to hang out. We get to talk about God and guns. We didn't really talk about fitness today, but that's okay. I know we've been a little bit both kind of maybe slacking a little bit there, but we'll talk about it next time because that's a for sure thing. So
I didn't really have a lot of fitness to talk about today. So
same, man. Todd got me pretty amped up though. I watched Todd's episode, and I really want to go check out his gym and utilize check out some of his recovery stuff.
Yeah,
I might be kind of a hard spot for me to hit often, but it is on my way home from work. I could maybe make something like that work.
It is on your way home.
Yeah. But man, that guy, he's something else, man.
Yeah.
I look forward to, I know he's a customer, but I don't know if even if we have met, it's been a long time.
Sure.
And I think when if he has come in, he's not the name dropper type of guy. So he doesn't ask for me or, say I'm a friend of Jams or any of that stuff, which that's cool, man. I respect that. But Todd, come on, man. Say what's up, dude.
Yeah.
Come by the shop, say what's up. Invite
cool.
me to the gym. And let's get a workout.
I mean, honestly, I think we need to have, as soon as the weather cools off a little bit, I want to have a campfire at my house.
Yeah, let's do it, man. The
fire pit.
Rebel Yankee Fire pit.
Yeah. Yep. I think all my close buds, people that have been on the show.
Yeah, he got me thinking about that minimum 5K as like my minimum run. I don't know. I'm not going to do it for 5.5 years straight every day. I just find it doubtful, but you never know, man. All it takes is get one wild hair up your ass, and man, you're on it. Look at Todd. 5.5 years later. So, yeah, dude, I look forward to seeing this podcast be super successful. And
you're gonna help it get there.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, God's plan. It's. Do I have high hopes for the Rebel Yankee podcast? Of course, I wanted to be successful, but what does that even mean? You know what I mean?
It's been successful already.
Yeah. Like we said from the beginning, if one person gets to know Jesus or gets a little curious from this podcast, well, it's already been successful. And I think that has happened. If one person gets motivated to be a little bit more fit or learn how to protect their family better or get a better taste in firearms, it's been successful. But for me personally, it's been a success in my life just because of what it's done for me as far as my walk, what it's done for friendships, what it's done for, I've been friends with Todd for a long time. We don't get together enough.
Yeah.
This podcast brings me and my friends closer. It makes me dive into the Bible. You know what I mean? This is your third time on the show, and you have an open invitation to come back every single week. There's a third chair here, too. So just because if there's already a guest doesn't mean that you can't be here, too. This is your podcast as much as it's mine, Well,
I can see that maybe becoming a thing. I'm not going to deny it yet. I'm not going to commit either. I'm not going to commit either.
No, I get it. You didn't commit from day one. I'm hey, here's an idea. You want to do it? Can't commit.
I did kind of commit, though, to doing once a month.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that was a conversation we had not too long ago. So, and I do keep my commitments. It's pretty important to me. So, we can definitely count on that. And, I look at the work schedule. The family seems to be pretty supportive of this as well, which was one of my big reasons for not committing originally. If we get things working out with the new hire too, I think the days that maybe we don't have Matt on Saturdays, that's my biggest hang up is that's a day I can't be here for sure at the moment. But if things work out with the new guy, then maybe that frees me up for the days Matt's not there. So, hey man,
you know how we roll. You could call me an hour before the show and be like, I'm coming on.
Yeah. Well, if God wills it, man, then you can't deny it.
So my final thoughts is when Jesus said, love God, love people, he wasn't just tossing out a nice idea. He was laying down a blueprint for how we're supposed to live, It's not a suggestion. It's a command that actually changes lives. So this week, let's be about it. Look for that moment when it's inconvenient, when it's messy, when no one's watching, and love somebody the way Jesus would, even if it's somebody that we normally wouldn't want to love. And I'm really talking to myself here. But that's where the kingdom really shows up, right? That's how we live loud for Christ. So that's
Amen.
my final thought. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching and listening. Ryan, thanks for being here as always. And
Pleasure.
let's go get some cheeseburgers.
All right. Awesome. Do it.